Vote 2023, you may be feeling overwhelmed with political information since we've just been through the Florida primary and now the November midterm is less than 2 months away. However, Jacksonville voters face an equally important election in just 6 months when they will fill local offices, including mayor. We're looking to you, our News 4 Jax viewers, to tell the candidates what issues are most important in the race. At 5 o'clock, Jim Piggott talked with some of the candidates about your concern over affordable housing. Now he is speaking to more of the candidates about that issue.
With 9 candidates already in the race for mayor, it really is a crowded field, and we could see more even jump in before this election. That's why your voice is important in this. We want to hear from you what you think the issues are and tell the candidates what you think needs to be done. In our survey of viewers, affordable housing is one of the top concerns. It's not cheap living in Jacksonville, and many are telling us they're having problems with rent. We put that question to Republican Daniel Davis.
We should take action immediately and make workforce housing part of the capital improvement program in Jacksonville, Florida. We should do a survey of city-owned properties and independent authority-owned properties and make sure that we can make the finance stack work for developers to where they can come in and preserve a workforce housing for us in the future of Jacksonville.
The idea of looking at city properties is something shared by other candidates, including Democrat Donna Deegan. Do you believe that affordable housing is going to be one of the #1 issues?
I think there's no question that it's one of the #1 issues, and we need to do more to tackle it.
What can be done?
Well, I think there's a lot of things we can do. I think we first of all need to look at all this vacant property we have all over the city and see what we can do with that, see if we can have nonprofits and more affordable housing in some of those vacant lot areas. Also, I think we need to incentivize our developers to create more workforce housing.
Is rent control an option?
Look, I think the state makes that virtually impossible if you look at state law.
Republican Leanna Cumber gave us a statement on the issue in which she blames another candidate for part of the problem. Here's part of her statement. There is an affordability problem across the board, from housing to grocery to gas. Inflation continues to rise. She went on to say, we need to focus on attracting many high-wage jobs and improving our education system so that Jacksonville residents can afford to raise their kids and live safely in our city. Democratic State Senator Audrey Gibson is also running for mayor. She spoke to us by phone.
It'll be a campaign issue for me, as well as in neighborhood redevelopment, period, because the way we get to increasing the affordable housing stock is where I was going when I talked about a lot of the places that are homes that are vacant. We go down Myrtle Avenue or some of the streets in between.
For Republican Al Ferrara, who's currently on the city council but wants to be mayor, he says rent control is not the answer.
I have a feeling it's going to be an issue and it's going to be brought up, but rent control is tough to do when you're telling private people what they can charge for something. I think what we need to do is we need to see what we can do on the city on first-time home buyer, qualified buyers in distressed neighborhoods, along with doing what we're doing.
So we heard a lot about rent control, incentives for builders, and workforce housing, which is another way of saying more affordable homes for those who don't make a lot of money. With 6 months to go, we're going to be hearing a lot more from the candidates. That's why it's important that we hear from you as well. From City Hall, Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.